Scanning for audio.
Welcome once again to a Tin Dog podcast. I don't know, you wait 2 years for Torchwood and then 5 come along in 1 week. Yes, 5. Now, some of you, my beloved listeners, live in America. Some of those people who live in America have the Stars network. Some of you don't. Some of you who live in the UK have access to what's been broadcast on the Stars network and have downloaded it. Now, because I live in the UK, and I'm nice about such things, and indeed I've agreed with the BBC not to release a review of Torchwood until it's out, say, on the telly, legally, I thought it best if I hang on reviewing Torchwood Miracle Day Episode 1 until it's actually broadcast here. The BBC version is slightly longer than the Stars Network. That's not to say the Stars Network episodes won't have extra moments. Apparently there are, how can I put this, slightly risque of the American broadcasters, or narrowcasters, whichever you prefer. So I'm going to stick to reviewing the English version if that's okay with everyone. But before we get there, we've got a long journey to go before Thursday. For today is Radio 4's Torchwood Episode 1, The Lost Files. And that's what I'm reviewing today. Tomorrow there'll be another Tin Dog podcast when I'll be reviewing the second audio play, and on Wednesday the third one. These are apparently all set either before or way before the current Miracle Day. The Miracle Day review will go live immediately after it's been broadcast on BBC One or BBC One HD. So remember to keep checking the feeds because there will be a lot of shows out this week. Of course, on Friday, I'll be covering, rather quickly because of my rather limited space on the server, the final of the 5 podcasts of this week, and that's Web of Lies. But that's the whole of this week. First, well, I think I need to be covering The Devil and Miss Carew. This story has the feel of, well, a Series 2 Torchwood. When I thought it was at its best, before the dark, dismal, depressing and, well, let's face it, downright unwatchable, for me, Children of Earth. Yes, I know it won awards. Yes, I know everyone said it was Torchwood for people who don't like Torchwood. But I kind of did like Torchwood. Which means this was Torchwood for people who didn't like... You get it. I didn't like Children of Earth. I did like the last 3 audio plays. The ones that were broadcast when CERN went live. Yes, they were great. They weren't Big Finish quality, and they had a certain standard. The downloadable versions weren't in stereo, but if you listened to them live or bought the CDs, they were pretty damn good. Now, in England, because I know many of my listeners, beloved listeners, are in the US, we've got a history, a passion. We've got radio plays here. The pictures are better on radio. You can do stuff when you can't see things. Now, I know it's hard for a lot of people to get their head around it. The guys at Big Finish are always saying at conventions that they have to explain what a radio play is before they explain what they do. And that's just odd for us. Because here, we know there are plays on the radio. Every day, 2:15, Radio 4. Radio 4 is the speech network. It's what you end up listening to if you have an IQ in this country. Oh, I'm being patronising. Sue me. I love Radio 4. It's just brilliant. I love Radio 2, but that's because, I'm nearly 40. Before long, Doctor Who fans of a certain age will not be able to claim that they are 30-somethings anymore. Oh, happy birthday, Tom. Crashing on. I'm rambling and I'm not actually talking about the specifics of this story, apart from the fact that it's set in Series 2. The important thing for many, many Torchwood fans about this is Yanto's back. Yes, you can experience the wonderful world of the Coffee Man once again. You don't have to hang around watching Miracle Day thinking if only he'd survived till now he'd be immortal. No. Here you can experience brand new, real, actual actor Ianto. Yes, these aren't audiobooks, they're actual full cast plays. It's basically like watching Torchwood on in the other room and you can hear what's happening. Now, I won't spoil you by saying that the action that takes place in the other two is a lot more international. This one's very much quite a low budget, quite a small piece. That's what radio does well. It does well what Doctor Who did well. Small, closed sets, small numbers of casts, ideas, things to be dealt with. That's not to say that this story doesn't bear a striking resemblance to a few other tales, but I'm not going to hold that against them, because this slot that it's being broadcast in is not just for sci-fi fans, it's not just for Torchwood fans, it's for fans of, well, drama. Now, they didn't hang around like they did last time and have to painstakingly explain who everyone was. They're taking it as read that people are familiar with the concept of Torchwood, which is quite a brave step. But for this narrative story, you don't really need to even know that. You know that something's going on, which is perfectly acceptable. And it uses the audio medium again to its strengths. Not as elegantly as Big Finish has in the time, but you don't really expect that. It's a 45-minute story, so it has to hit the ground running and keep going. Again, not a problem. It's got Martin Jarvis in. Martin Jarvis, one of England's best actors. England's best voice characters, anyway. And he plays a character called, well, as you heard earlier, Fitzwilliams. But we have seen him in Doctor Who world before. We've seen him in Invasion of the Dinosaurs, which has some parallels with this story. There's no dinosaurs, but Operation Golden Age will ring some bells with some people. I don't want to spoil too many things. And of course, Martin Jarvis famously played one of the creatures in the Web Planet. A story many people can't even make it all the way through. Yes, it's got some similarities with The Idiot's Lantern. You can always find similarities with other stories if you look hard enough. Suffice to say, this is an extremely well-written story. All three of these plays are very, very well done, and I'll be reviewing each one every day as soon as they've been broadcast on Radio 4. There is an option of getting these for free off iTunes. I don't know if that's international or not. I know it's in the UK. But it won't last forever. So go on iTunes and download them while you can. They're very good, they're well worth a listen. And like I said, you get some lovely Ianto on us. What more does anyone need? So tomorrow I'll be discussing yet another radio play, building up to Thursday's Miracle Day. So until tomorrow, be seeing you.
In The Devil and Miss Carew, Captain Jack Harkness was played by John Barrowman, Gwen Cooper by Eve Miles, Ianto Jones by Gareth David Lloyd, and Rhys Williams by Kai Owen. Fitzroy was played by Martin Jarvis, and Miss Carew by Juliet Mills. Sian was played by Hayley J. Williams, Uncle Bryn by James Walsh, and the Old Lady by Shelley Reese. The Devil and Miss Carew, part of Torchwood, The Lost Files, was written by Rupert Laight. It was a BBC Cymru Wales production, directed by Kate McCall.
You have been listening to the Tin Dog Podcast. Doctor Who and its associated shows are all trademark of the BBC. No infringement is intended. Contact us at tin-dog@hotmail.co.uk.